All right, fellas, we're live on Facebook or YouTube. Sorry. YouTube.
Who can tell the difference, John? Who can tell the difference these days?
No,
That's right.
Big tech is big tech.
that's right. They're all corrupt.
And if I don't ever poop again, well, that's just going to be who I am. Chinese or Japanese. But sometimes you just don't listen.
Welcome to the Three Fat Dads podcast. I'm John Mueller, along with brother Rick Mueller, Tyler Layton, our third fat dad. And Tyler, I want you to introduce your guest tonight.
Yeah, well, I got sick of being outnumbered by Mueller brothers. So tonight we have a special guest, all the way from Traeger, Iowa, Iowa fat dad, a Mr. Casey Beaver, father of one, and he's here to talk. I suppose you can talk agronomy, fatherhood, politics, you name it. I think this man has got an opinion on it.
He checks all the boxes of the fat dad.
Yeah. A jack of all trades, gentlemen.
Tyler and I were saying that we feel like we should grow some more hair. I mean, I can't really, but maybe Tyler's got a shot. I can't, but I can grow a beard. The problem is now, though, full disclaimer, I'm only age 36, but my beard is so gray when I grow it out now. Just awful.
You're an old man, John.
I know. I got the salt. Yeah. Well, Rick, I guess you just don't care. But do you guys know how much Just for Men costs?
No idea.
No, John, I have no idea.
Ridiculous. I went to Walmart. I was like, I'll get, try it out. I want to grow the beard out again. I think it was like $7 or $8 an application, and that application only works till it grows out again for a couple of days. I'm like, F that. It ain't worth it. It just ain't meant to be. I'm supposed to be completely hairless, except on my body. There, I look like a bear. But I mean,
yeah, this is a family show. But I'm going to back you up. Full disclosure, last weekend, John and I went out for supper. I always thought my wife made us late places. We're 30 minutes late because John had to pick his head.
Yep. So, it looked good, though. It looked good.
Look how good it looks.
Yep. It's, you only have to take care of it every 3 days, but those 3 days are an absolute train wreck.
Another funny story, Casey shaved this morning.
He'll realize here that your beard will start growing faster than the hair on your head, and then that's a true pivotal moment in manhood. I think my hair has been growing for a year, as you can see, nice receding hairline. This has been like 4 months. So,
what I want to know though, Mr. Deaver, is how long does it take for you to get that curling in the morning? Do you have to put those in?
That's all natural. Nice wings, the fluff.
Yeah.
Natural. Hey, it's my wife's shampoo. I steal it from her. I don't tell her. So.
Yeah. So tonight we got a lot of topics. I think our first show, our pilot episode, was it the day of the inauguration or the day before?
Before.
So just a few things have happened in the world since then. It's only been 2 weeks and a day, but yeah, a lot's gone on. We'll talk more politics and all that kind of stuff. But we like to start off the show talking about kids. One of our favorite things in life is being a dad. I think we can all agree to that. So anybody got any good kids stories? I got a few topics of my own, but I don't want to do all the talking. So anybody great moments in dadhood over the last 2 weeks?
So, yeah, I've got a great story. I don't know if it's a great story, but I have a story. And
you know what? When it's your kids, it's always a great story. Everybody else might not think so, but if your kids, it's always a great story.
Well, actually, it's my wife. She found this story online. She's always finding these stories online. But apparently, there's this subreddit, and we'll get into more subreddits later. But about kind of about being a dad. And it pretty much, she got a kick out of it because it pretty much sums up my relationship with my children. in the subreddit, it's all about dads kind of talking about really just kind of how their kids treat them worse than their mom or sort of mean. One great story, and this is something that I could definitely hear from my son Theo and Logan. The dad was talking about watching The Lion King with his daughter, and she get to the point where Simba's dad dies, and a little while later, the little girl asks the dad, hey, so where's Simba's dad? What happened? And he's like, oh boy, this is gonna be a heavy moment. I got to explain kind of life and death. And he goes, well, honey, remember he got ran over by the wildebeest and he died. And she goes to him, well, what's the big deal? He still got a mom. And that's my life. That's my life with three boys. They just put up with me and they listen to their mother. But
well,
maybe that's her being a good mom. I don't know, but
I think the first thing that I told you that when I heard you guys were expecting again, I go, well, maybe this one will actually like you. And so that ties right into the story perfect.
They'd be the first people ever. So it would be something.
Yeah, my little tidbit is tonight we were doing stuff. We were raising quail for the girls because the girls want to raise quail because they saw it on a YouTube video. That's a whole other topic.
The girls do. Sure, John.
Yeah, for another day. They don't know that. They don't know that when we release them, we're going to do a little target practice when they fly out of the cage in the spring. But so we have the house.
You'll be able to hit anything.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't worry about it.
Those quail have nothing to worry about.
If I can't hit a dove, there's no way I'm going to hit a quail. So I bought the girls eat nothing but cheese pizza. So I don't know where I went wrong as a father. They did nothing but cheese pizza, no pepperoni, no sausage, no nothing. So I, in my infinite wisdom, thought, hey, Jack's Pizza, they now sell a half cheese, half pepperoni, half for dad, half for the kids. I got the cheese pizza. It had like 5 pepperonis on it. I could have just bought a pepperoni pizza, peeled off the little pepperonis, and had double the pepperoni as a normal pizza. But I mean, that's my story. But I don't know where I went wrong as a dad.
Jack, that's why you are just sort of an honorary fat dad, because a true fat dad knows that trick. Like, that's a total rookie mistake on your part. And Rick and I really actually are going to have to discuss whether or not you can continue doing the show.
Yep. That'll be a meeting after the show.
Looks like Iowa Fat Dad is in. He becomes the third. John's out the door.
That's right. That's right.
No, so yeah, great marketing scheme though. I mean, that's half cheese.
And I was gonna ask why you just didn't buy yourself a whole pizza and them a whole pizza.
Well, we're getting to that point, but with 2 girls, I mean, one didn't even eat pizza, one ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So
you can't let that happen, John.
And that's the difference here between my household and you. You three are all girl dad. I'm a boy dad. We have to cook 5 pizzas. You're going to be able to all the way through high school. You guys are going to be able to live off this one frozen pizza, and I got to make 5 of them. That's just it's different problems.
You got a second oven so you can get them all done on the same time.
2 in the oven, 2 pizzazzes, and then we got something else over on the side.
On the grill.
Yeah.
You joke, we laugh, we have no idea. It's great. I'm gonna have to get a second job and a second mortgage just to feed these kids, let alone what college is gonna cost. Wait, that'll probably be free.
Well, if we have to say anything about an executive order here shortly, it will be free.
I feel like this could be leading us down a path, John, where we have a frozen pizza debate, which could get really ugly.
Which brand, which type?
Exactly.
Yeah. We are live with 6 people now. If anybody wants, I am watching the YouTube comments tonight. So if anybody wants to chime in or have anything they want us to talk about, go ahead and post it there.
Do you have super chat turned on, John?
What's that?
Do you have super chat turned on?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh. It's where people can pay to get their comment to be front and center in your face.
Oh, I mean, can you do that on YouTube?
Yes, that's a YouTube deal.
Oh, sweet. Well, when we get up to our 1,000 subscribers and start making money, then That's
I
like
think
a
you guys
dollar.
have the wrong person running the show here. Just my first 4 minutes into this right now. Just saying. So
Yeah. Well, it's even
he's
funnier,
about,
Casey.
obviously he's about as techie as I am. You know what I mean? So
Well,
Ask him what he does for a living.
Yeah.
what is it that you do, John?
I am the network manager for a
Makes sense.
telecommunication
That's all you
company.
have to say.
Manager is the key word, right?
Sure.
If
Yeah,
it was network
absolutely.
tech, it'd make
Absolutely.
I feel like they are going to also have a meeting after this to discuss your future, John.
It's not going to be anything about racism that we're going to talk about later. It was just my technical skills. Who would have thought?
Technical.
No, so let's get real with the kid talk. Taking a leadership class, and we talk about a little bit about love language and what needs and wants. And so I thought this was kind of cool. We're kind of talking about what each one of your kids' love language is and what they need from you. And I'll go full disclaimer of kind of talking about this. My oldest, she's the attention or time. She needs attention or time, and our youngest is all about affection and touch, wants to be put to bed at night, cuddle, be held, all that kind of stuff, and completely different. And I think until about 2 weeks ago, I didn't really understand that concept.
Hey, John, how about for the rest of the fat dads out there who have no clue what you're talking about when you say words like love language? Can you give us a little background? Can you catch us up here?
Yeah.
So for us smooth brain apes out here.
Yeah. So love language is how you want to be loved, and what means love to you. It's different for all sorts of people. There's many different types of love, but it's basically how you feel love. Some people are, I won't go into adults. Adults can be completely different from kids, but that's a completely different topic. But, it's just the different ways that you feel love. It's kind of like learners, some people are audible learners, some people are visual learners, some people are hands-on. It's the same thing for love languages. Everybody, I think there's 7 different types, and I should have wrote those down and been prepared.
It's 5, I believe.
5.
It's
Okay,
5,
Rick says
John.
5.
Yep.
It's 5.
Words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch.
Yep.
This is a book, right, by a guy named Gary Chapman, and very popular, used in both in business settings, leadership settings, and then also marriage classes, relationship classes.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. So
That doesn't surprise me.
So quick survey. Do you all 3 know or have an idea what your kids' love languages are?
I do.
Rick, you do. What are
Yep.
your 3 girls?
The youngest, she is physical touch, cuddling. The middle one is definitely quality time. And the oldest, I would say it's acts of service, but she's 12. So, things are in flux.
Sure. A lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
Yep. Tyler?
Yeah, so for me, my oldest, definitely quality time. He really responds to that spending time doing something he likes. That's a big deal to him. My middle guy, he's totally a physical touch. Always been, ever since a little baby. He's been like our snuggly. He's the guy that's going to give you a smooch. Like he's just very much expresses emotion that way. And then our youngest, I got to say he's somewhere between that quality time or words of affirmation, but he's really little, but you give him like, hey, good job, cheer him on. That's a big deal to him. So he's obviously pretty young. So he's kind of figuring out his whole personality, but that would lend towards words of affirmation for him. Casey, how about you?
Yeah, I think my daughter is all 5. She wants to be the center of attention. She responds well to support when she does something well. She, as a dad, and these stories that you guys have mentioned, what are those things that you do as a dad? I feed her, man. I just throw food at her, and she loves it. And that's how I can do it. But and at the end of the day, my greatest feeling as a father is when I come home from work and my kid's already there and she comes running up to me. She's been doing that for a couple months now, and there's not a better feeling than that. Her coming up and just jumping into your arms. So, But I think she's an only child right now, so she's a little spoiled, and we have a part in that, and her grandparents have a part in that as well. But
probably a major part.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're teaching her how to not push people. She's 16 months old. She's bullying the other kids at daycare, so we gotta rein her back a little bit here.
I mean, there is no paternity test needed for this child.
Yeah, she comes without the beard, pretty much. So she's great, though, man. She's my best friend. There's nothing quite like being a father.
Yeah.
I mean, turn the SAP level to 11, John.
What's that?
I said turn the SAP level to 11.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna go dry my eyes.
Viewership just went down to a 5, so we won't play. No.
People are here for. They're here for it. They want 4 angry, yelling heads. They don't want to hear this crap.
Yeah, white supremacy, man. No time for sappiness. We don't have for that. No, we call it at our house. We call it grandparents. We call it grandma detox. Grandparents detox. After they go there for a weekend, it's full out detox. It's good, but holy cow, it's grandma detox is real. It's a thing. All right. Any other kid stories before we move on to the biggest story we think of the last 2 weeks? Everybody's good. No, well, Tyler, I want you to take the lead on this one. And short selling. GameStop short selling. The little guy tried to win, but the big guy said no. Give us the background, Tyler. Give us the Cliff Notes version of what happened the last 2 weeks in the stock market.
Yeah, I think we've learned a lot in the last couple of weeks, but we learned a hard lesson that maybe the market isn't quite so free. We had a group. There's a group on Reddit, a subreddit called Wall Street Bets, and in there they noticed that 3 major hedge funds were short selling some stocks. One of them being GameStop. And Rick, help me out if I gloss over anything.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them being GameStop. The hedge funds were looking at GameStop sort of as like a blockbuster, an obsolete business model. And they essentially were kind of, you could say they're colluding to draw that price down, short sell it. They could make a lot of money. This group on Reddit noticed it, started buying into it. They drove this stock up. What was it, Rick? A $10, $5 stock. I think at the peak we got to $330, somewhere in there.
Yep.
And then at the peak, so as it starts getting media attention, this huge rise in this stock, you have companies like Robinhood, which was seen through most of the pandemic as kind of a savior to the every guy, someone where as your small business was being shut down and you were laid off or quarantined in your house, hey, become a day trader. And Robinhood would help you do it. But then they colluded with the hedge funds, limited sales, how much people could buy, which then caused a crash in that. So I think we're down to about $90 on GameStop today, GameStop stock today. But really, and there's like 7 stocks right now that companies like Robinhood are basically controlling how much people can buy, which is affecting the price, and which all of us would have thought was illegal. And now today, there sounds like really the SEC, instead of investigating the hedge funds and Robinhood, they're like investigating the members of the subreddit and looking at them for collusion, to like colluding together to buy this stock. I mean, it's just a crazy deal. They're going to go after some like profanity-laced username on Reddit instead of looking at these big hedge funds who stood to lose billions, who then got a bailout essentially by tech companies.
They at least got protected, right?
Go ahead.
They at least got protected. They got protected is what happened.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. The other tech companies, the other hedge funds wouldn't let their own fail and go down. At least go down to the point where they lose so much that it becomes an issue. Yeah, Rick, what was it? Was it I can't remember, what 148% oversold? Is that the number that
short sold? I think 138 is what 138, 148. I saw several numbers, but yeah, 138 short sold, which means some of those stocks were shorted twice. And so what happens on a short sale, right, is that you borrow stock from someone, you sell it at the higher price, and then with the idea that you will buy it lower and then return it.
Right. You don't actually own the stock. You're borrowing.
You're borrowing it, but you can sell it when you borrow it as long as you replace it, because the idea of the stock is a stock at that level anyway.
It's taking a bet that the stock is going to go down. It's just like going to the casino and
you're profiting the difference from what you sold high and what you're rebuying low.
Yep.
I don't think you guys are coining this right. This is coined as a market strategy. So very passionate about this subject. And I'll tell you what, right now, everybody in the world is a stock market, stock exchange expert, right? And I'm one of them all of a sudden. It's great. I know more about stock markets, selling, longs, I don't know, the SEC protecting everybody than I could ever imagine right now. So what we officially have here is a market strategy from a hedge fund people, right? That's a market strategy. And then when you and I go buy a stock on Robinhood or some app that we can get a hold of, granted, we can buy stock for whatever reason. We can buy stock to screw over the big guys, right? Or we can buy stock because, hey, there's a chance to make a profit. Now we have the government telling us that we cannot do it. I tell you what, there's nothing more frustrating than the government coming in and protecting big people. Once again, I mean, we've protected automobile industry, we've protected banks, the housing industry, and now it just keeps going on, right?
Airlines.
When's it going to stop, fellas?
Airline.
I'm getting off on a tangent here, but
no, we love
that's
tangents.
a marketing strategy. That's what I have found out, and that's the expertise of somebody who got into this business 2 weeks ago.
That's perfect, because we should be able to do whatever we want. Say, and when I first heard about this GameStop, I'm like, oh, this is a bunch of gamer nerds that didn't want people bad mouthing GameStop. That was my first thing when I first heard about it. And we should be able to do that too. Say that there's a company out there that we think does a good job. They treat their employees right. That we like their product, but maybe their stocks aren't that much. And just because of that, they're on the chopping block. Well, what's to say we can't get a Reddit group together and just go inflate that stock because we think they're valuable, and we think that's a good company that we should support.
Isn't that what a hedge fund does?
Yeah.
Right. They have other people's money.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. No,
I think the key issue here is like this whole thing has united a big multiple groups within the country too. I mean, I think you've got people left and right have come together and said, no, this is not right. This is an example of government going too far, the rich, the wealthy, billionaire class going too far, and that they always get to win. They win every time, no matter what it is. They're too big to fail. But we'll pick on the little guy. He can fail. We'll shut down his business. We'll kick him out. We won't let him vote. We'll deny him vote. We'll start executive orders, whatever it is. But I think we've united a lot of different people. And I think we've opened more eyes at the swamp, which we've heard about the last 40. Maybe not such a good thing. That there's got to be a better way to do this.
This is the first time in my life I have seen eye to eye with the Occupy Wall Street movement. And it's not something I'm very proud of necessarily, but like you said, it's bringing some people together and saying, hey, who's looking out for the little guy too? And so I think you hit the nail on the head there, Tyler.
Yeah. Last week I agreed with Democrats. I agreed with millennials.
You are a millennial.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, I'm not a millennial, but
No, Rick, we're on the edge there.
Yeah, we're on the edge. Yeah, we're considered.
Oh no, I think I'm on the edge.
No, it
I think
depends.
I'm on the edge. I think you're pretty solidly in there.
Depends what site you're looking at. Depends who you're talking to. What is it? The Gen Xers? Is that below us or is that above us?
That's above.
What's the new Gen Zs? Is that the new one? Gen Zs?
Yeah, I think so.
Boomers.
So, I mean, I was agreeing with people that are, I'll also say, in their 20s. It was nuts. And I hope that unity continues. I felt it last week really strong. But what did the government do once again? And what did all those hedge funds do? They make it die as fast as they can to make that topic go away. So now you don't feel that unity because GameStop's down at $90 again, and everybody feels like they can't do anything again. And there goes that unity against the big guy, just all out the window.
Well, I think the fact that it's staying at 90 though is
something
should be something they can rejoice about. I think a little bit. I think honestly, in my opinion, I don't obviously know for sure, but the Wall Street Bets guys, I think with their power and how many people that they the capital that resides in that group of people, I would think that $90 to $100 is probably about as high as they were going to be able to push it. But I think with the high volume trading and some of that kind of stuff, that can amplify some of these spikes. Because, the big guys were throwing their money back in after it went up. They were going to ride the wave a little bit. So, I mean, I think it's probably, actually, I would say it's probably leveled out more to the point where they were probably reasonably could have expected. But
yeah, and the people that got in right now are still happy. It's the people that got in at $300 that are going, crap. But one guy at work that bought some, he goes, I don't care. I'm going to let it ride. The fact that I was able to try to stick it to somebody was worth more to me than the dollar amount that I could lose on it. I'm like, well, that's,
Yeah, I think that's like, I don't think it's about the money, really, because these guys on the Reddit, they'll post their losses, and some of them wear that as a badge of honor. If you go on the subreddit, like, be careful. It's got a lot of explicit language, but you learn a whole new language. Listen to it's a lot of, they speak with emojis and things like that. It's a millennial crowd in a lot of ways, which is different for me. But I think I kind of learned some of the lingo. It's fun. These guys are hold. They like the stock. They're holding this. They're not giving up. It's a way to fight back. It's a way for you to feel like you matter, that you've got a voice in things. And I think that's a crucial piece. And I think we saw this through the Trump movement. I think we're seeing it through the Black Lives Matter. There's just a lot of people out there who feel like they're marginalized and their voice don't count. They're looking for a way to speak out. And like, this is another way. And you kind of have this merger of some of these groups. And, I think the people in power should maybe take a little notice and realize that, the American public and people all over the world they're standing up a little bit. They want to see things done differently.
I think I've said for a long time that the elite, the super wealthy, the ultra wealthy, the politicians, the powerful class, their worst nightmare is everybody realizing that we shouldn't be fighting with each other and we should be fighting them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've talked about that in the Mueller's Day Off show, and I think a couple of weeks ago. It shouldn't be the middle class, Democrat and Republicans. They want us fighting on social issues and stupid stuff. Really, it's us all in the middle that need to be going after the wealthy and the elites, and just, I call it an oligarchy. Rick disagrees with me on that. That's another show. But yeah.
What do you mean by going after?
We should be going, well, just like this. I mean, some people might say it's storming the Capitol. Some people it's saying, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you take them down. We even talked about this at the local level and the state level. If we don't like our Republican senators, what can we do about it? It's hard for us to even take out establishment Republican that's been in the state of South Dakota for so long. How do we go after even on that small level? The South Dakota Republican Party group handpicks the person that they know that's going to go to the Senate every year. How do you stop that? How do you get somebody, unless we all come together and say, you know what, screw these lifetime politicians, screw that group. I used to be a part of that group. Maybe that made sense to me years ago, but what it is now is not what it should be. And I mean, that's just one thing I have, but
grassroots politicians do happen. I mean, look at AOC. She's a flagship for that, right? I mean, they'll hang their hat on her till she's done, and what she's accomplished for at least the DNC side of things. But you got a primary, right? It sort of starts at the primary, and it's grassroots level. And I know exactly what you're saying. State of Iowa, we got two senators, one that just got her second term. The other guy's been in there since the dawn of time, been a great advocate for farmers, I think he's a good person. But like you said, term limits do matter. I think, and it starts at the grassroots and primaries. And I hope people, you're seeing this big influx of young people getting into politics now, right? And those young people, they got to go in primary. they got to vote on those primaries. I mean, how do you get 1 million people in the state of Iowa to vote, but in the primaries you get 200,000? You know what I mean? I just it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I think that's a way to combat it. I'm not saying it's the fix all of our.
But do you think the establishment tries to keep
Yes.
that primary numbers low?
And you've seen that with the DNC, right? And when it comes to the presidential picks,
Sure.
on their nominees, the last 2 elections with Hillary Clinton and now Joe Biden. So, the party system, it's strong. And how do we break that? I don't know. I don't have the answers. And, I'm only one vote. But I still think that people need to stay active in it. But like you said, where does it start? Grassroots, unfortunately or fortunately, and that's a pain, especially when you're fighting the system. And the swamp is.
I got a question for you, Casey. I mean, let's open up this can of worms. So you're talking about grassroots candidates. You brought up the DNC. Is there a better grassroots candidate than Bernie Sanders? And how'd that work out for him?
Is there a better grassroots candidate than Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, if you look
Bernie
at what
Sanders grassroots,
the amount of support that he's brought, and I would say that's a lot of common people. But what happened there? The party crushed him, right?
Yeah,
Twice.
you're right.
Colluded,
You're right, but that's not the Republican
together,
Party. I think we could probably agree that the Republican Party is weaker when it comes to what you say, because in the Republican Party, you're bringing in all sorts of factions, right? In the DNC, you have liberals and you have socialists, and further left than that, right? But they're all on the same thing. Hey, free healthcare or healthcare for everybody, universal healthcare. They're big issues they're all united on. You get the RNC side, or even moderate right to extreme right. That's a bigger range, I would say, even.
Right.
And the worst part is maybe, generalize a little bit, those people are more stubborn, right? And they're more set in their ways and their ideologues in a way where it's either this or nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And how you unite that, that's the Republican Party is very, very, very complicated. Our candidates are complicated, and the people who vote for them are even worse so. So, but as far as Bernie Sanders goes, yeah, he got crushed, but you can't say he's grassroots. He's been a politician his entire life. He was nothing, man. The guy was living on couches, right? And now he's has 3 houses and he's a millionaire, and all he's been is a politician. Joe Biden, come on, man, you're kidding me? I'm going down the wormhole. I'm going down the wormhole, and I'm not happy about it.
John, I think we transitioned to talk about President Biden.
Well, politics is a swamp, right? And people get rich doing it. And it doesn't matter if you're a senator or congressperson or president or nominee or whatever. It's big money, and it will stay that way until we, as normal people, figure out how to find a way to reel them in.
Well, and back to the GameStop thing, back to that, Ben Bernanke, one of the Obama presidency, he is a huge player in the Citadel Company hedge fund. So these guys, even if they're not colluding while they're in office, they know that if they take care of those hedge funds, when they're done with politics, the hedge funds will take care of them.
Look no further than our current Treasury Secretary and the amount of money and speaking fees that they've gotten for speaking to hedge funds.
Yeah, what Janet Yellen is up to? Is it? I think the last 2 years, wasn't it something over 7 million, north of 7 million that she's gotten for speaking fees? So,
and it's both sides of the aisle, because I mean, Ted Cruz's wife is Goldman Sachs. Is that who she works for? I believe.
Yep.
He won't say that. And I was a Ted Cruz guy. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
And he did come out and kind of condemned. I don't condemn, but told Robinhood what they were doing was wrong. But I saw just a handful of politicians there in Washington, speak out, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ted Cruz. There probably were others, but and it's not so much what I find interesting about the people who did speak out, because I didn't necessarily find that surprising. I think what's telling is the amount of people who didn't.
Very true.
This should have been a huge major deal. I mean, this is affecting their constituents, but their donors were the ones making out. So
yeah. So where do the votes go? Right? Do they go to they vote on the people's side, or do they vote on the donor side? And I think we know now.
I heard some.
What are people going to do about it?
Yeah,
You know,
I
how
heard
are you
some.
gonna vote?
I heard some stat where they said that since the 80s, that like 90% of the things that happen in Washington go against the popular opinion of the people. I don't know if that's completely accurate, but I heard it's something around that, I think, but it
I'm gonna have
wouldn't
to ask you
surprise
to
me.
put a link on there and verify your sources.
Yeah, I'll find that.
You got to put it on Twitter. Everything else, because it's not verified, guys. It just didn't happen.
Yeah,
Nobody on this podcast has a blue check mark, Casey.
I'm just saying. If you did have a blue check mark, I'm pretty sure you're either silenced or shadow banned. So.
Actually, John's social media contacts have all probably been. He's probably been kicked off about every social media platform. I'm guessing. Is that true, John?
Twice. They caught me with both names. I'm on my third now, so. Well, that's the thing too. We joke about what we can say and what we can't say, and we're even worried to the level of our employers. We joke all the time that we can't say stuff on this show, and nothing very controversial. But man, you got to watch out. You can't even speak out at all, because whatever you say is going to be used against you, and everything's recorded, and nothing on the internet goes away. It's just sad. We can't even have a show like this and say, and the cancel culture, all that. It's deep, man. It's deep.
It's real, and there's a lot of money behind it.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
And a lot of technology.
So I suppose you want. That's a good point to transition to the country music singer.
Yeah, your topic of the night.
Yeah, let me find his name again, because
Casey kind of looks like he could be a country singer. He's kind of got that voice too. I'm thinking that he can get out the banjo and start doing a little music for us here.
I sing to my wife and she walks away. So that's not my calling in life right now.
So
and I don't have a banjo. Thank you.
So someone called Morgan Wallen, a country music singer, from what I've been told, he's a big deal.
Recently big deal too.
I wouldn't. I have no idea.
I just read the story.
Rick, you're not a country music fan?
No.
90s, 2000s, nothing.
Rick has got to be a
70s, 80s country. I mean, come on, man. There's got to be a range, isn't there?
Well, I like Garth Brooks. I went to the Garth Brooks concert when he was in Sioux Falls. 2 years ago? That was fun.
George Strait?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not everybody has good taste in music.
We'll settle with Garth Brooks. That works. All right.
yeah. Garth Brooks. Go ahead, Rick. Continue.
But anyway, so this Morgan Wallen, he was caught on tape using the N-word, and he's since been kicked off of country music radio. His label has suspended him, and I think I just read that he has been disqualified for any CMAs. I guess, tell me why I care.
He's basically been taken off the face of the earth, right? I mean, he had a career going. He used one word, which is a terrible word. I would never use it. But what gets me about all this and why I care is let's figure out the story first. We are so quick to, take everything. And like I said, that word is, I don't think I've ever used it. But man, they just ate this guy's lunch. Just everything gone.
Yeah, my understanding is he had a little Twitter controversial or some controversial tweets when he was 18. I think he had quoted some rap lyrics in there. And I think the story is his neighbor videoed him and his friends coming home from the bar in Nashville. Yeah. And I think he called one of his friends the N-word is how that went down. And then of course the neighbor, for some reason, decided to post that out. And the guy's career's over now, or at least right now. It's an interesting conversation. Obviously, never words like that unacceptable to call people, especially people of color. Definitely should not ever go there. Racism's obviously a horrible thing, but cancel culture is bigger than just this. I think cancel culture covers a lot of different grounds. Anytime someone disagrees, you can get a group of people on Twitter or online, this loud screaming minority. You can cancel TV shows, commercials, movies, actors. I think Chris Platt right now is going through something similar because he followed Ben Shapiro on Twitter, and it was rumored to go to a certain church in California. That's to me, that's a bridge too far. That's the canceled culture run amok, and that's where the whole thing then kind of turns me off.
Yeah.
I think to answer Rick's question, why should you care? You should care because one side is telling you how to think, what you can and can't say. If you say the N-word, that's wrong, hands down. Everybody I know will condemn that. Okay, it's not used in any aspect in life in a way that is gonna advance any aspect of anybody's life. But that word, as atrocious as it is the thought police telling you what you can and can't say. So what's next, right? I mean, yes, we can all agree that bad words should not be used. We should not be labeling people. We should not be degrading people or shaming people in that sort of aspect. But in the same way, there's that culture out there that is also saying, you either see things our way, right? And this goes beyond just this singer. If you don't agree with how things should be said, and if somebody finds something offensive going forward, that probably shouldn't be offensive. And I don't have an analogy right now, but that's what I fear most, right? Is me joking around with office personnel or joking around with friends and family, and I don't know. Let's say I call somebody fat, right? You can't do that. That's fat shaming now, and that that's just. It's unacceptable in some people's eyes, and they're going to come after you, your career, your life, until you're a busted down. You can't get a job virtually anywhere of making any significant meaning for yourself. So I think that's the scary part, Rick. I think why do you care? I think you should care in the aspect of people controlling how you say what you say all the time. And like I said, but those words that he said are not acceptable. I did not read the whole story. I caught glimpses and pieces of it. So I don't know the whole context of everything, but that's completely unacceptable.
And I agree.
And he's paying for it, right? He's paying for it.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. And I agree. I get the cancel culture and how that's bad, and thought police. I think we talked about that a little bit last week too, with Twitter bans and all that stuff that was happening too. I just, I like to be able to, separates. I'm vigilant about it too, but I sometimes, you just gotta, these things, this happened, and I guess I'm not upset about it. I understand the slippery slope and the other things, but sometimes you gotta be able to separate sometimes that this situation definitely, in my mind, whatever he gets is justified. But
but let's talk about an even playing field too. The fact of the matter is he was a target that they could go after and do. And, I just want an even playing field. If we're going to treat one guy this way and ruin his life, then the next time some other person does it that maybe was whatever other genre, then the same thing should happen. We're going to save this for another time, but it's back to the with the Trump impeachment. Now, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, all the stuff they said to incite violence over the last couple of years was just forgotten about or not talked about. But what Trump did was the worst thing in the world, and we're going to impeach him. And that's all I'm talking about. If people want to control and be that cancel culture, just make it fair for everybody. So we can never come to terms or have a conversation back and forth, like I said a couple weeks ago, if we're not being fair and honest and truthful. We can never come together if we're not that. And that's all I'm saying with it.
John, I want to stay on the cancel culture topic, but I've got a question I want to pose to you, and I'm going off script here, so forgive me. But obviously, the Baseball Hall of Fame just voted, and I'm sure you followed the Curt Schilling controversy. You're a big baseball guy, Rick. I'm not sure if you're a baseball fan or not. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I followed that story. It kind of fits in with this cancel culture. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, is Curt Schilling being held out of the Hall of Fame because of his political views?
It's political views and probably a little bit of steroids, controversy, all that stuff. And with a lot of those guys, it's steroids. My big thing on it is if you're a baseball writer, you shouldn't care about the off-field stuff. In my opinion, you're voting for the best player during the period of time that they played. If you think they were the best player during that period of time, then you vote them in. They're not felons. They weren't caught gambling like Pete Rose, steroids we know was but it's the same thing. So if that's his political view, yeah, I think that plays a part in it, and it absolutely should not. And that absolutely bugs me. But
I think he falls in more so. I think there's another, Jeff Kent, for example. There's no reason why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame with some of the numbers he's put up. But the whole reason he's not is because he was a dick to the media, right? Like nobody liked him. So, and the people who are voting for him don't like him, like really don't like him. And they say even his teammates didn't like him. And I think it's some of the same thing with Curt Schilling. I think he has an abrasive personality. I think the bloody sock incident, if you remember that from the playoffs, where he said he faked having, apparently, is that he faked having a bloody sock to make it look like he was being Superman on the mound. And so I think, and then the steroid thing, I don't think he ever was busted with steroids, but he's in that era. So that's another thing that just some people aren't voting for you that way. Does his political views have something to do with it? Maybe Absolutely. A little bit, but I think there's probably 5 other things that are just as big a deal.
Right. Yeah, it's to me it's what the guy did on the field. I guess, if he's a wife beater or something like that, I mean, I view that completely different too. But it's how people are going to view you. And if the mass says that what you did is wrong and not, but yeah. All right. So I got a little game to play. It's called High, Low, or Right On. And what we're going to do is who wants to be the guesser tonight? Who wants to be the guesser of the number?
I feel like we got to go with our guest superstar, Iowa Phat Dad.
Yep. Okay. So Iowa Phat Dad, Casey, what we're going to do is I'm going to name something and you have to tell me, you take your best guess of what that is. And Tyler and Rick are going to say if it's high or low or spot on.
So he's going to guess a number.
I'm just saying numbers, right?
You're just saying
do numbers.
You can
if
also.
You're asking me reading in letters. We're going to have a problem.
John, nothing beyond 10.
Nothing. Oh, I don't think I have one question that's.
I can go up to 20. Thank you.
So
hammering the low.
So how it's going to work? I was going to play some music, but that's too much work, and I'm not. You guys are making fun of me for being technical. So
we'll leave that for Rick.
Yep. So the first question. How many executive orders has Joe Biden already done in his?
As of a couple days ago, it was 40.
Rick?
It might be more the last 2 days, but 40.
Low then.
Tyler?
He's Googling it.
Do I have to pick opposite of Rick?
No, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Oh, yeah, you're too low.
No, the official number is on the White House is 28. I thought it was 40 as well. I'm sure the media outlets were saying that, but we're going with 28.
I question those numbers.
Hey, we're going with 28.
28 in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Nice.
All
Don't
right.
let a dictator. Next question.
Next question. We're going to stay on that.
Do you think you need your representatives to vote on these things, Casey? Is that what you think? You fascist?
What's that? I mean, why send people to Congress? I mean,
Yeah.
I got Dictator Joe there. He's going to take care of me, right? So
Hey, he said they're not laws, though.
he's from Iowa. He knows what's going on. All right, we're getting off topic here. I like numbers. Let's do this.
All right. How many executive orders did Donald Trump do in 4 years?
In 4 years.
4 years. It's going to be more than your 20. So
35.
Rick?
What was the number?
35.
Low.
Yeah. Casey's too low. He did more than 35.
Yep.
400.
220.
Where are your numbers?
I was shocked by that. What?
Now, do you know when? Like, did he do that after he lost the House? A majority of those, or not?
You can
Or was he
go,
doing those all while he had the
Well,
House and the Senate?
let me I don't know if I'm allowed to show
John, are some of these
Wikipedia.
like pardoning the turkey at Thanksgiving and things like that? Is that an executive order?
I think it is.
It is promoting energy independence and economic growth, buy American and
Okay,
hire
this
American,
is a bunch of garbage. This is what we pay people to
Enforcing-
do.
and addressing trade agreements violation and abuses. It's all that. No, the most he signed was he really ramped up after 2019 and well, even 2018 before.
So when he lost the
2018.
House.
Yeah, most of them.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
And that's why executive orders become so prominent, is because the Congress has basically ceded this power to the presidency, and it's
Totally wrong. No matter which party you're part of, there's really
Absolutely.
they should be very, very limited if used at all. That is not the executive. That's not the office of the executive. Is not to be dictating orders out. Let the legislature legislate. It's me in my soapbox.
Yep, right on. All right. So they're trying to recall Governor Newsom in California. How many signatures do they have right now currently to recall Governor Newsom?
1 million. 1 million.
Rick?
I'm gonna say high.
Tyler?
There's a lot of people in California. I'm going to say that he's low.
Yeah, Tyler is correct. 1.3 million signatures to
Oh,
recall.
come on, man.
1.3 plus.
Give me a prize.
Yeah, so 1.8 million is how many they need in California to recall him, and they are actually saying that there's a pretty good chance. Now, recalls in California, I guess, are a pretty common thing.
John, where do you get your news? Because I was all over CNN and Yahoo this morning, and throughout the day, and I didn't see this story.
This is from KRON4 News out of California themselves. And I actually saw
You
it.
just go to their website randomly to see what's going on in California.
Hey, I don't want to give up my sources of where I get the game information.
Right.
Might be shows on the Blaze Network and Newsmax. All right. SpaceX. Everybody's favorite topic, Elon Musk. He has now plans to journey to Mars as soon as, I can't remember when, the 2022, it might be the first unmanned. How long currently are their hopes of getting to Mars, the time from Earth to Mars? What is their hope right now of how long it'll
How long
take
is it
you?
going to take?
Yes.
Are you asking like what their
And-
plan is, or what it's actually going to take?
No, what they hope
Like
they have.
what a
if they were
journey
gonna-
from Earth to Mars would be.
Yeah, if they were going to launch
To
right now,
Mars.
if they were going to launch right now, what they think they could do?
2 years.
What's that?
2 years.
2 years?
I have no idea.
Rick?
That's high.
Tyler?
I think he's too low.
I think it's like 9 months.
6 months.
6 months.
6 months is what they're hoping.
Surprised you didn't Google that fast enough, Tyler.
I know.
So what they're planning right now is that they would have the main ship already up in space. You would be ferried on another shuttle to that main ship. That main ship then would get fueled, and then you'd go on your way to Mars, stay there for about 2 years and do 2 years of work, and then you get a ride back. So the whole thing would be
I've seen this on Armageddon. Yep.
I would like to start a GoFundMe to send Casey Deaver to Mars. So
Yeah.
It's a
we'll
big
get that set
rocket
up.
ship, boys.
Well,
It's a big rocket ship.
and would you go on the first one? There's no way in heck I'd go on the first one.
So
Tell you what,
I brought this
want
up
my
to
name to go down in history. I'd be there holding that American flag, smoking a big old cigar. You betcha.
Believe it or not, I had this debate with my wife, and maybe this like outs me as like a huge nerd. But I'm like, we should do this. Let's go do it. You know, we'll be the Robinsons from Lost in Space. Let's go do this. She's like, absolutely not. You're an idiot. I go, well, I might go without you guys. And she's like, that's.
Kids don't like you anyway. What the heck, right?
That's love.
Well, if you die on the way to Mars, you get paid out your insurance death your
Depends how your policies are written.
yeah. Is there a disclaimer for out of
You have to
Earth?
be on Earth when you die.
Yeah, is that a thing for your life insurance policy? All right. What percentage of Americans, according to a Monmouth University survey, say that they will never get the COVID-19 vaccine? I'm looking for a percentage. What percentage of Americans?
Percentage? From Monmouth? 40%.
Rick.
Low.
I'm gonna go high.
Hi. The official number from their poll was 25%.
Wow.
25% said that they will never, ever get the COVID vaccine.
So
All
John
right.
brings up a great question. What about you? Are you going to get a vaccine?
No, I had it. My whole family got it in September, except our oldest. She never gets sick of anything, so she tested negative. But my symptoms were so mild that I will, since I've had the virus now, I'll just go along with whatever the hell is going to happen to me with the virus and not put another thing into my body of not knowing. So no, I will never get it. How about yourself?
I think if they would let my wife and I, we'd go pop open a vein tomorrow, pop that sucker in there.
Rick?
Yeah, I'm doing it as soon as I can. My wife, when her position, was able to get her first dose of it last week. So yeah, we're on board with it.
Casey?
Yeah, so I already had it. Apparently you're a stronger man than I am. They kicked the crap out of me. I was down and out for about 11 days. I had a fever the whole time, achiness to where you couldn't even hardly move, trouble breathing. I went to the hospital because I had a panic attack and found out it was a panic attack. I thought I had a blood clot in my lungs or I was having a heart attack or something. I woke up. It was crazy. It was not very fun for me. I probably will get the vaccine. Here's the thing. They keep coming out with these new strands all the time. If this is the new flu, I'm probably going to get the vaccine. I believe I can already get it. I'm part of a phase 3 release in Iowa, and I haven't gotten it yet. I'm waiting probably another 6 months to see how many people get all shook up from this and get the data of, hey, does it really even work, right? At the end of the day, if it's protected 90% of the people and I can help out, from getting the elderly sick, then absolutely. But if we're going to do some 40% or 10% like the flu shot was a couple of years ago, I think I'm wasting my time. So I'm not a doctor. My wife is, and she'd probably kill me for even saying that. So, but I read things, and I can tell you what I think I am. But I'm no doctor, that's for sure.
Well, you're better than me because I just drink and know things. So you at least read.
Yeah, my English teacher from high school called me out for our last podcast, saying that she was very disappointed in my take and my ability and my willingness to read books. So that was the one comment we had on Facebook, was she was not happy with my
unwillingness to read books.
Unwillingness, yeah.
Mm.
That was a major takeaway from last time, that John is not very. You're not well read, John. You're not well read.
That's right.
I sent you the ability to listen to 1984 for free.
Yeah.
On Audible.
Yeah, I got it queued up. Probably start tomorrow morning. Probably 6:30 in the morning. But I'll listen to it. I asked people about work about that, and they kind of looked at me as crazy that I didn't know what it was. So it's definitely a me thing and not a you guys thing. That's for sure. But we knew that night anyway. All right, last question. Actually, two more, but they're both same topic. Casey's from Iowa, or not? I don't know if you're from Iowa. Lives in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So this question probably we shouldn't say, but Rick and I are from Nebraska. How many Huskers? How many Huskers?
I'm the lone South Dakotan on this podcast. That's
I'm the lone Iowan dude. Get off your pedestal.
Outnumbered here. Outgunned.
How many Huskers will be playing in the Super Bowl this weekend?
Oh man,
it's more than you think.
This is something you guys really ride your horse about too. I bet.
It's all we got.
Because you guys haven't been able to. Yeah, you haven't been able to field a team for 6 or 7 years.
It's all we got.
Since Frank Solich, I think. Anyways, Pelini had a couple decent. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. How many are going to be in the Super Bowl? I'm going to go with 3. I think you guys, 3. Yes.
Tyler,
3.
We'll let you go first. None are on your team.
Yeah, none are on the good side. I'm going to say he's too low.
Rick.
I feel embarrassed for not having the foggiest idea what the answer to this is. But I'm going to say he's too high.
He is spot on. Attaboy, Casey.
We know one player, Ndamukong Suh.
Yep.
And you guys still think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and albeit he's a good football player, great. But you guys always find the cheesiest way to make excuses for his dirtiness as a player, and you're like, oh, well, that's just football, and you're just like, come on, guys.
Yeah, he didn't mean to kick that. You didn't mean to kick that guy right in the groin. His groin got in the way of his foot.
Hey.
More importantly, how many Iowa players, Casey?
Oh, I should look that
Good
up.
question.
How many starters? How many starters?
So Tristan Wirfs is a rookie for Tampa Bay, protecting Tom Brady. He's playing for sure. I can't remember. I'm gonna say 2. There's probably 2 playing.
We're looking it up right now. Nah, I'm not getting it. You guys don't care. Your media doesn't care.
How many are on the Chiefs team? Tyler, how many are on the Chiefs team?
I believe just one. Ben Neiman, starting outside linebacker.
Yep. Yeah. So then 2. So him and Tristan Wirfs.
So it's Ndamukong Suh, Levante David, and Khalil Davis.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Last question, and then we are on to the sign-off. Super Bowl.
One more Husker thing, John.
Yes.
You see that Buki is in the transfer portal?
Oh, we can get him back for the
Yep.
Yeah. All right. He screwed us right at the end on signing day. Now we can get him back. Now we can talk about transfer portal another day. That's a whole other topic. All right. Chiefs, how many points?
Podcast.
Yeah. Chiefs, how many points will they score on Sunday? We're going to write this one down for next week.
31.
Tyler?
38.
Rick?
I was going to say 34. All
right. Well, I'll go 35, right in the middle of that whole shebang. So, no, Tyler's a big Chiefs fan, so you already got one in the books. How you feeling with already? What does it feel like to win the first one? I know, but now having a chance to win 2 in a row. I mean, as a Vikings fan, I'll never ever experience that. Well,
after 35 years of pain and suffering, winning the first one was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. And then to be able to repeat, go back, it's crazy. I don't remember. It's been a long time, maybe the 60s since anyone's won back-to-back. So it's going to be an interesting game. Yeah. Chiefs' offensive line is really banged up. It's going to be a major problem. But Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, it's a heck of a matchup. But I'm a Chiefs homer, so KC all the way.
Yeah, Mahomes is a great equalizer for a terrible offensive line. So we'll see how that goes. So, all right, anybody else? We're already over an hour. Hard to believe. Thanks for joining us tonight. Anything else anybody has? if not, I got one more thing. I wanted to tell my English teacher that I have read a book recently. Find Your Why, Simon Sinek. If you guys have not read that, great book, leadership, life, just great. It's Simon Sinek. You can go on YouTube. He's got a lot of TED Talks out there, and just great about finding what your purpose is in life and what it means to you. So great book. Mrs. Peer, I did read a book recently, so be proud of me on this
Rick,
podcast.
What is this? We make fun of him, we call him out, and then now he's got like a whole book review here
that he
Open it up. Is it
read.
pictures?
It's for my leadership class, so it may have been required reading too. I'm not gonna lie and pretend that I just went out to Amazon or Barnes and Noble, picked this bad boy out and read it. But it is good. Simon Sinek, a lot of good lessons in there, and not just for leadership and business, but just in life in general. You know,
more importantly, John, who's reading it to you?
You know, there's an Audible version. Had to buy that, but.
His oldest daughter's reading it to him for bed.
Well, that's a topic for another day. I'm pretty sure, you know, these first graders that are reading chapter books now, I'm pretty sure in first grade they were trying to get me to not eat crayons yet. And these kids are it's amazing what they're doing at that age. It's, you know, we talk about the school system so much and say it's terrible and all that stuff, but after having a kid go through kindergarten, first grade, I'm having a hard time believing that right now.
Yeah, in Nebraska, John, they were trying to keep you from eating crayons, and meanwhile in Iowa, they were trying to keep the glue bottles away from Deaver.
What were they doing in South Dakota?
They were teaching us how to count, do math, calculus.
No. They got to get them out of that. They got to get them out of horse and buggy to even get them to the school right now. So anyway.
Yeah.
Just a little behind.
Yeah, so we're over an hour. We thank Casey for joining us tonight. Thanks for everybody for listening. Got some good comments and some good feedback last time. So we're just a show with 4 guys tonight that, you know, just the average guys just living life and trying to explain a few things about how we feel about things that are going on in our life. And like I said last time, don't ever let politics or anything that's going down in the world let you down, because you control 100% of your happiness and your destiny. At home is the most important. So Casey,
thank you guys for having me. This has been a blast. Thank you so very much. Just sitting down, talking about things that are covered in the news, talking about fatherhood and how it's the greatest things that ever happened in my life. And I consider myself in my arrogance, of course, a very fortunate person that's experienced a lot of great things, and being a dad is absolutely first and foremost, and a total blessing and a blast right now. Now, when they get older, I just want to let you guys know, every time somebody told me something about parenting your child, everything has come to fruition. So I am conceding right now that it will happen, whatever you say. If you say, hey, you know, you're going to put locks on your pantry door, I'm probably going to need them. So anyways, but no, thank you again. I had a blast. It was a good time.
No, appreciate having you on. So Rick, Tyler, any words? We'll try to do this bi-weekly. We'll be on in a couple weeks again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, somewhere in there. And just thanks again for listening.
Good night.
All right. Good night, folks. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Our dad said we were too easy on the left last time. He listened to the show the next day and he goes, you like it? And he goes, you guys were too easy on the left. So I don't know if we're any harder tonight, Dad, but we'll see what we can do. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Tyler, enjoy the Super Bowl. If you want to come over and let me make fun of you during the whole game, the invitation is out there.
See you, John. We'll see you.
All right. Catch you guys later.